on, or it is. Hi. So I don't know if you guys wanted to watch the fireside chat, or maybe some people want to see me and they're going to wait, but whatever. We're going to do this. We're really happy to be here. Ledger is the sponsor of this event, which I find pretty fabulous to be standing next to the Eiffel Tower. I think there's three reasons why this event is really important for Ledger. The first one is that Ledger was born here in Paris 8 years ago. Our headquarters are still here, across the river, about 2 miles down. The second reason, you may not know, but the technology, the secure element that's inside a ledger, is the exact same, or it's the descendant, if you will, of the technology that you have, or that we all have in our credit cards. Like the little chip that you see on your credit card is pretty much inside a ledger. And that technology, that chip technology, which is cryptographic technology, was invented in France. So by being here, we're also like in the roots of this engineering revolution of cryptographically securing your assets. And then the third reason, obviously, is that for hundreds of years, Paris has been a center for culture, for creativity. There's hundreds of amazing communities that were built here and that were developed and that ended up changing the world. And so when I see the 10,000 people that are here and trying to be this community to change the world in a different way, I think it's very fitting for all of us to be here today. So I love to start these conferences by doing some very cheap and statistically totally wrong market analysis. So I'd like to get a show of hands on how many people in the room have a ledger. Wow. I'm going to say that's like 64%. Okay, so how many of you have pre-ordered a ledger stacks? That's much lower. Wow, that's about like 8%. I'm sorry for all of you who wanted to and haven't been able to, because we've been a victim of our success. You cannot pre-order them, but we're going to get them back online very quickly. We're working very hard on this. And then the last question is, how many of you own a market pass, like a Genesis Ledger Market Pass? Even lower, wow, 5%. Well, it's still decent, but I feel like I was expecting like, a higher level of Ledger fans in the room, but I'll remember the 64% that own Ledger. That's pretty good. But I think that all of us would agree that there are two things that really matter in building the ecosystem that we're trying to build together. One of them is ease of use, and the other one is security. And we at Ledger are really working on both. If you were at Ledger Open back in December, or if you watched the keynotes showing Ledger Stacks that we worked on with Tony Fadell, the inventor of the iPod, you will see that ease of use is one of the key elements of the hardware, right? We have a large touch screen that really allows you to interact with the hardware in a very different manner, in a much better manner than you do with this. So that's really a step forward. And that technology step forward, we made it without losing an ounce in the security that's inside the ledgers. And that's really, really important to know. And as far as the security is concerned, I remember, because I feel that we're very much in the same state that we were back in the late 90s. At the time, I was working at Amazon. Yes, I am that old. And the issues that you had back then was that people were afraid. There was a lot of traffic on the websites, but people were afraid to put their credit card online because they were afraid of getting hacked. And while that fear was like associated because there was very few hacks at the time, it still had a big impact on the possibility for e-commerce sites to develop. And so as a result, there was really like a drop, and there was a 2000 bubble that burst, a large part of that because of these issues. And it took a lot of education and a lot of time to get the confidence back. And so when I look at where we are today in the NFT ecosystem, the hack fear is real, much more so than it was 20 years ago. And so we need to make sure that we secure that ecosystem. So, when we are developing our hardware, we really think and talk to our users. And when we look at what they do with their ledgers, we see that out of the 6 million devices that we have sold, and we've sold 6 million. We just crossed that threshold a couple of weeks ago. They, today, house like 20% of the world's crypto. So 20% of the world's crypto is secured by ledgers, 30% of the world's NFTs. And then when you deep dive into the bigger collections, you would see that 36% of CryptoPunks are protected by Ledger. 38% of Bored Apes are protected by Ledger. 46% of Moonbirds are protected by Ledgers. And we believe that it should be 100. Hopefully one day it will be. But clearly what this says is that people have a connection to the PFPs, the art they collect, the communities that they belong to, which is very, very strong, right? There's also another thing, is that sadly, they are afraid because there's more and more hacks, and the hacks are becoming more and more sophisticated, and you're definitely a prey if you own a lot of value on with your NFTs. So that's an issue that we need to tackle for sure as a community. And when I was at Google, the CMO of Google, Jonathan Rosenberg, who wrote a great book called $1 Trillion Coach, his favorite saying was, repetition does not spoil the prayer. I heard him say it so many times, and it worked because 15 years later, I still remember it and I still use it, right? But I think when it comes to security and the NFT ecosystem, repetition doesn't spoil the prayer is very apropos. And unfortunately, every time I prepare one of these talks, I don't have to go very far back to find very specific example of very seasoned users getting hacked. And you can see here on the slide examples of Kevin Rose, who got over $1 million of NFT stolen, the CEO of Artifact, Crypto Novo, and that happens all the time. So we have a booth on the ground floor. We have a top team of people. If you're not sure about what you're doing when you're transacting with the NFTs, make sure that you go talk to them. They'll definitely come and help you, and that's why we're here. And that leads me to really the 3 things that we feel are the heart of our responsibility as security experts and as security leaders in the space, right? And we think that we need to do education, technology, and collaboration. So education, because we want to start talking to people as soon as they enter into the Web3 ecosystem, right? The issue is that today people start caring about self-sovereignty after Luna or after FTX. They start caring about security for their NFT after they get wrecked. And it shouldn't be that way. You should start caring about security as soon as you get into the ecosystem. So we believe that the onboard of new users is going to come through a lot of different verticals, through maybe fashion, luxury, different things, brands, but also through gaming. So that's a vertical that we're looking a lot at. We just integrated Cometh into Ledger Live, and that's been a very big success. But we also worked with our friends at Sandbox, and we created this game called Ledgerverse, which there should be a little video playing, which is a quest that you play. You have 9 different levels, and at the end, you're kind of Web3 ready, and you know how to deal with security in Web3. And the uptake in that game was absolutely fabulous. And because of that success, we've decided to really broaden that security piece, and we have working with a lot of communities in the space. We did an equivalent of that game with World of Women. We just announced that we're doing it with Cool Cats. We're going to do it very soon with our friends from Dead Fellas, as well as ApeCoin, and we're going to do more and more of these because we want to make sure that anyone coming into the space understands the need for security. The second piece is technology. Obviously, it's the heart of what we do. Ledger is a technology company first, but the idea is that we want to go beyond the hardware, right? If you have the hardware, you know how to use it, you're securing yourself. We want to secure people coming into the space, so we're working a lot on the enterprise side. We have a product called Ledger Vault, which companies are using. We partnered, for example, with Salesforce, with Farfetch, with a lot of other companies that are really securing their assets as soon as they're creating them, and that's very, very important. It's the first step. Another example, a prime example, is what we're doing with Ledger Market, which is our distribution channel for NFTs. It's the only place where you can securely distribute your NFTs and make sure that your community has access to them in the most secure manner. And we've partnered, again, with Dead Fellas. We partnered with the Forgotten Runes. We partnered with our friend Agoria to do an amazing drop. All of these in an incredibly secure manner. And that's really an important thing. This is not the only way. We can also, we're working on Ledger Connect, which is right now in beta. If you haven't signed up, type Ledger Connect in your favorite search engine and go sign up for the beta. And the idea is that there you will be able to be secure when you'll go from Web3 app to Web3 app. So security still at the heart of everything we do, and the idea is to diffuse that security across the space, and at the end of the day, maybe have the whole ecosystem secured by Ledger. And then the third and last thing is around collaboration. We love to say that everyone is invited at the Ledger party. We are chain agnostic. We try to integrate as many coins, as many services as we can into our ecosystem, as long as they benefit that ecosystem. And we also want to be a canvas on which creators, brands, artists can build amazing products, amazing ideas. And in the spirit of that collaboration, we wanted to take advantage of this stage, this space, this beautiful Eiffel Tower, to announce the last partnership that we have just signed and that we're releasing. And in order to talk about it, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to bring on someone that doesn't need an introduction. That's Benoit Pagatot from Artifact. Benoit? Pagatot, sorry, man. You don't need, I call you Benny.
Everyone is always calling me Pagatot. I don't know why, but it's fine. It's Pagatot. What does it work?
Well, you can talk and then you can click when you're ready to click.
Okay. No, so really happy to be there on stage again. Same mood than this morning with my sunglasses because my eyes are fucked up. No, but really happy. We've been working with Ledger since actually we started Artifact very early on when Ian Rogers joined the company. Very impressed by all they've been doing on the product side, security side. So we're happy to continue to do new partnership with them, not only on the education side with our community, but also newcomers. Really important, you know, as you showed in the slide, that our CEO gets some problems, so it can happen to anyone. So, but how do you make it in an entertainment way? I think the Ledger Quest is super interesting. As you know, Artifact loves Quest as well, and we love anything interactive. So we're happy to continue this partnership, and not only through education and content, but through cool-looking products. I don't know if it works. Okay, no, that's not the coolest one, but that's still cool. So we're doing some special edition NanoX with Ledger that we're making in a very, minimalistic design, working very close with the Ledger team. I don't know if he's around. I want to shout out Parker from Ledger, who's been amazing to work with. Plus, he's one of the coolest looking guys in the NFT space because he's got an amazing beard. And also, we worked on, do you have it or not?
It should be there.
No.
Well, you can explain what it is. But actually,
you don't have it? Oh, you don't have it? Okay. So we did something really cool that I guess you'll see on social media. But we designed a case to put your ledger that looks like a vial, which is the type of stuff we've been developing with Artifact as part of our story and design. And it's a way to really showcase your ledger. And you can have it around the chain, showcase it. Because since day one, we thought that your wallet, in the real fashion world, wallet are a thing to express your identity and your taste. But ledgers, a lot of the times, it was like a boring USB stick. But now that Ledger has done a lot of amazing work on the product, the materials, and we designed a case with them, real new industrial design that looks sick and really cool, but you don't see it on the slide.
You can't see it if you go on market.ledger.com.
And yeah.
We announced it and we put it on.
It's online? Okay. So go on ledger.market.com. It's going to be, yeah, exactly, on this one. And yeah, everything will be dropping on Ledger Market, and we're super happy to continue with them to push and to make crypto more secure, but also look cooler. Yeah, that's it. Okay.
And that's it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.